Namaste, everybody. Namaste, sir. Namaste, madam.
Namaste.
Namaste,
ma'am.
Siddharth. Yeah, namaste, everybody.
Namaste, ma'am.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste. So nice to see you all here. Today, as we know that we have got together here for Yoga-Caupāla. So we will begin this session with Shanti Patha. So please sit comfortably. We are going to chant Omkar 3 times, followed by Sahana Vavatu Prarthana.
The trick is just saying to think about it.
Inhale. Inhale. Prarthana. Om Sahana Vavati Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gently open your eyes. Warm welcome to Yoga-Caupāla. I welcome our gurus, Guruji, Dr. Shreeram Agashe sir. We welcome him in the Yoga-Caupāla. Namaste, sir. We welcome our Guruji, Dr. Lalita Namjoshi, madam. Welcome, madam. And we welcome our fellow Yoga Sadhak, Shri Siddharth Rao. Namaste, Siddharth.
Dhanyavad.
Yeah. And I welcome all the participants who have joined from different places. Heartiest welcome to this Yoga-Caupāla. So this time, this Yoga-Caupāla is to discuss something very sincere. I would request, there are some people whose microphones are on. For the time being, if it can be put off, thank you. So to discuss a very different kind of subject matter, which we all feel that whether we as yoga people should at all discuss such a thing. We all know the story so far, yet here it is in a nutshell. A girl and a boy meet on a dating app. They get into a relationship. Parents don't approve of it because of this thing being an interfaith relationship. but they choose to leave the family and live in together for almost 2.5 to 3 years or something like that. And very tragic end to the story, that the girl was murdered by the live-in partner. Now, this is what has happened. We can't do anything about it. We have a choice to respond or not to respond. Actually, what I feel, there are many ways in which we can respond to this incident. One way I feel is, which when I was discussing with my Gurujis, one thing came up, that we should follow Maitri, Karuna, Muditopekshanam, Sukha Dukkha Punya Punya Vishayanam, Bhavana Taschitta Prasadanam. Practice Upeksha. Don't take any cognition. Then another thought comes, if I don't cognize, am I falling under the Anumodana? As the sutra says, Vitarka hinsadayah kritakarita anumodita, lobha krodha moha purvaka, mridu madhyadi matra dukkha jnanananta phala iti pratipaksha bhavanam. Am I approving of it? That's another way to look at it. And what do the yamas and niyamas have to say? Okay, agreed. Although I am not involved in this entire incident in any way, yet, what is my duty as a citizen of this country, of this world? Is there anything I can do? And should I do? Should I be doing something, or should I just sit back at home? Then, heyan dukkha managatam. Okay, sure, the Patanjali Yoga Sutra talks about the supreme goal and reaching the highest, but can we not take the teachings and apply them in our day-to-day life? The dukkha Bhagwan Patanjali ji is talking about is the cycle of birth and death and getting rid of it forever. But why don't I take this wisdom to lead a meaningful life as well? Yes, I have my eyes on the highest goal, but I would also like to take care of my living in a harmonious way in and around me. Keeping this in mind, what is it that I can do as a person and as a yoga teacher? We, the students of yoga, have a lot of questions. What should we do under such circumstances? What is my role as a person, as a citizen, as a yoga teacher, as a mother, as a brother, as a sister, as a father, as a husband, or whatever? Okay, so before we get into the discussions, a disclaimer here. The objective of this event is not to hurt the sentiments or to be biased in favor or for or against any of the particular person or society or gender, caste, creed, nation, religion, community, or anything like that. Aim of this event is to bring awareness of yogic aspect to the youth to survive in the current scenario. Now we are going to focus on some of the very basic points, like, are we bringing up our children with correct values? What is lacking in our education system? Where is our youth heading to? And then a big, huge question, sense gratification. Where is the sense of proportion here? when we fall into sense gratification. We seek knowledge and wisdom from our gurus who are present here in this meeting. So I, Dr. Rajani Pradhan and Shri Siddharth Rao represent all the students here, and we have our gurus, Dr. Shreeram Agashe sir, who's PhD philosophy, who's a dedicated worker of Vivekananda Kendra Kanyakumari for last 20 years, as well as he is honorary director of KJ Somaiya Yoga Academy, Vidyavihar, Mumbai. And we have Dr. Lalita Namjoshi ji. She's former principal Sanskriti Peetham, KJ Somaiya, Mumbai. And we request them to give us some solutions, give us the wisdom. And at the end of this session, all of us can ask our questions. Both of our gurus, they've been teaching philosophy of yoga, yoga therapy, and related subjects in various institutions in India and abroad also. And they regularly conduct workshops and talks. May I request now our Guruji, Shri Dr. Agashe sir, to please enlighten us.
So I was thank you for organizing this particular program, which is so very important, and further thankful to you for inviting me in this program. The important subject, important topic for all of us, as you very rightly said. And I would like to really begin with a few points as to why all these things happen at all. This negativities which we see. This is one case which you have mentioned, but there are several such cases which are happening actually. And why this happens at all? There are so many reasons for it. The first obvious reason is biological conditioning, as we see. If those who study the brain structure, we know that 70% of our human brain is reptile brain in nature, and 20% is animal brain, and only less than 10% of our brain is really human brain, what we call neocortex. Neocortex, the thinking brain, the discriminating brain, the brain that distinguishes us from the animals, is hardly 10%. The limbic brain, the animal brain, is the bulk of our brain structure, and therefore the animal instincts, they dominate in each one of us, one way or the other. So ahara nidra bhayamaitulancha samanyam etat pashubhir naranam. So that is there with everyone. Okay. So now that understanding this, we have to take special care to see that we are not pulled down by this reptile brain, animal brain, the lower brain, and the higher brain makes us human beings first. Okay. For that, value education, of course, is the most important thing. And that value education, the first teacher is, of course, our own parents. And I would like to bring in here that education should begin even before birth. Education after birth is a must, but they say nowadays in yoga and other things, we know what they call as garbha sanskaras, and there is a lot of research about it. In Lonavla, just this with Swami Vidyananda's ashram, they have done a lot of research work how when the lady conceives, what kind of things she should do and she should not do. So the fetus learns inside the mother's womb itself. The education should start there. The sanskaras must start there.
Yes.
So, and then of course, at a very young age, The values should be taught at very young age. And they always say that values are not really taught, they are caught. Hmm. Values are caught. So the little children, they have tremendous receptivity and they are looking around how the parents are behaving, how others are behaving, and they are catching up all those things. So their environment is one of the most important things. And one of the psychologists whose name was Adler, very famous psychologist, he says that the mental personality is almost formed by 5 years of age. Hmm. By 5 years, your mental personality is almost formed. Whatever you want to give, the maximum receptivity is there up to 5 years. After that, not much correction can be done. So I think we should focus on very, very young children in order to give them the right kind of values and see that they are able to recognize the problems. They are to recognize the animal within us, the id, as Sigmund Freud says that there are three forces in human being, and in the beginning it is only id, the animal in man, the sex instinct in man, and then slowly and ego develops, and ego is executive of the personality. It tries to control it sometimes. It is not able to control sometimes, and what he calls as superego, which is based on the values, which is conditioned by the values, it develops much later in our life. That is what he says. So there is a constant war which is going on between id, ego, and superego. And it is here that our lifestyle, what we do in life, it depends. And it's all a question of channelization of energy. So Freud also says, and other psychologists also say, that downward trend, that is the sexual instincts, they are the biological instincts, they are very powerful instincts, and this energy can be channelized in various ways. You have to give the right substitute for it. Uh, Yogic substitutes, of course, are the best. Everybody knows about it. But if not yogis, the other channels are also open for us. Any interest in art, in science, in games and sports help channelize this energy, so that it doesn't work only through the sexual instinct. That is the first thing. And then what are the other impacts on us? We know, we all, I need not even elaborate much on it, about the apps which are there with us, the mobile, the TV shows, and other things. They are continuously bombarding the young generation and others, and it is there that we see the things. I heard that even in this particular incident also, some TV programs were responsible for the very horrible behavior of the boy. That is what I have heard. I'm not very sure whether it is true or false. But the TV programs, what kind of programs we see, what kind of other programs can substitute them, how our taste can go on changing. Now, these are the things. Uh, Actually, parents have a very great role, because in the young age, parents are with you. And this is another problem with us, that parents are not able to spend quality time with the children. Parents are, in many of the houses, both the parents are working parents, so they are busy in their own way, going to the office, coming back, having problems, then maintaining the household. So if they speak to the children, it is only about their progress report, about their marks, about their school, which I would in a way say is a negative time, because they are scolding only. They are not trying to understand what happened in the school, what is going on in the student's mind or the boy's mind, and what are their problems, what they are thinking. Nothing. Quality time, spending quality time with the children is a must. And if we are not doing it, we are failing in our duty, to you can set everything aside and see that there is a time which is given only for my child for very normal talk, as to know what is happening inside. And all those things are very important for us. And then we see nowadays in the school, many schools, particularly in Bombay and other areas, I find that there is no ground in the school. Learning means only getting enclosed in the class and learning chemistry, physics, mathematics, and all that. No way to go out and play on the ground. People or the students or the young people, they should be encouraged to go on the ground and spend their time in games and sports. Because what is happening today is the entertainment is in your hand by way of mobile, by way of many apps and other things. And then you are eating lays, you are eating all sorts of food, which is actually making the children obese. Hmm, at a very young age, and not really bothered about their physical being, getting entertainment. So giving them, making it compulsory for the children to go on the ground, play with others, and all that is also one of the things. So I think initially, because all others also should get time to speak about this, so initially this is what I feel as to some of the measures which we have to take in order to control such incidences and inculcating the values inside the students when they are very young, and once that basis of values is there, uh, they are less likely to really fall into the traps of modern life. So I will stop here for the time being because
Yes,
others also should speak.
yes, sir.
And
Yes,
then if there are questions, certainly we will come back.
yes, sir. Now, may I request Shri Siddharth Rao to please open up and speak up whatever you feel, and then we will have Dr. Namjoshi madam to kind of take it further after Siddharth. Yes, please.
Sure. Am I audible?
Yes, please. Yes.
Thank you, madam. Firstly, I would like to offer my condolences to the family of the young girl who has passed away. It's pretty unfortunate that something like this has happened. Guruji very briefly explained the causes. We identified few fault lines as to why such incidents happen. There are a lot of things to be discussed in terms of why such things happens. Mainly, I will be focusing on how we can avoid these situations in the future. In this particular case, I think Guruji did explain that the guy was influenced by a series on Netflix, and he basically got motivated. Similar cases can be also identified in the United States, where the mass shooting happened, and most of these perpetrators, they are influenced by the gaming, which are quite violent. So these are some of the issues in the developing as well as developed countries. Domestic violence is a very, very serious case, even here in Australia, as well as in United States and everywhere else. As a woman, especially in a bad relationship, a man, although is very physically strong, as a woman, what all things a woman can do to prevent such incidents to happen, is I would like to basically go back to the ancient Indian educational philosophy, which is based on three main principles. One of them is the Shastra, which is the practical science that we learn in schools and colleges. The second principle is Shastra, which is the weaponry and martial arts, which is why I always insist to all the youngsters, apart from, doing everything else, one should also learn martial arts. Yoga and martial arts are actually my two favorite subjects.
Yeah.
I have also studied Kung Fu, and there's a lot of similarities. Perhaps we can organize a separate session where I can probably discuss the similarities between yoga and Kung Fu. It's very similar philosophy.
Yes.
Just like yoga, when we talk about yoga, is yoga when it's largely misunderstood, and that it's yoga, it's all about physicality. Similarly, when we talk about Kung Fu, most of the people think that it's all about self-defense. Yes, self-defense is one aspect, but most importantly, it also deals with the self-discipline. Mainly, when we look at this particular case, I have closely studied this particular case. There are so many other fault lines. Guruji obviously has identified few. In this particular case, obviously, when you're young, you basically get carried away, the hormones take over, you know. In this particular case, she wanted to live with the guy, although the parents were against it. There was a reason behind it. She left the parents' house, started living with this guy, so I do feel that to some extent, the parents also failed to basically just let go the daughter and not keep in touch with her. Obviously, there was an individual's faults as well, not to listen to the parents and start living. And there was so many things basically went wrong. So these are some of the things which we should obviously learn from such incident. Each one of us plays a very important role in the society. To some extent, her friends, she also cut ties with all the friends, and even the friends basically failed to keep in touch with her. Everyone is busy in their own life, and things just went horribly wrong. So as youngsters, I would strongly encourage everyone over here, and for those who couldn't make for this particular session, I would encourage each one of you to basically pass on this message. That you should always listen to your parents. There's a reason why they give you certain instructions. They're obviously more experienced than you are. As youngsters, you should avoid the exposure that you get on the social media. It has a deep impact on your psychology. One should obviously learn martial arts. It's very, very important. It has made a significant impact in my own personal life. I would strongly encourage all of you guys to also start learning martial arts. It's really beautiful. And when you combine martial arts with yoga, it just takes it to the very next level. Perhaps in the next session, we can also cover up some of these aspects of yoga and Kung Fu. And basically just staying strong physically and mentally is very important. So that, things like this can be avoided in the future. And that's pretty much what I had to share at this stage. And I'll open up the floor for the rest to speak.
Yeah. So maybe request now, Madam, to please take up from here.
Actually, when I start speaking, Dr. Agashe sir has covered the psychological and philosophical causes and analysis of the whole phenomena, what is happening.
Yes.
And Siddharth has given some very practical suggestions. But when I speak, I must say that why young children, not just this case of sexuality, what Dr. Rajani initially said about sense gratification, why young generation is drawn towards sense gratification out of proportion, as you said.
Yes, yes.
Because what happens, particularly in my generation, there were, I speak from personal experiences, and then I will connect it with our scriptures. Initially, in my young age, we never got any pocket money. We never wanted our own space and something like that. We grew up in a family with all things shared amongst us: clothes, books, eating things to be eaten, everything. One sugar cane was cut into pieces and was handed over. One piece was handed over for each of us. Like that, one guava was cut into pieces and the pieces were given to us. So when we grew up and we had our own children, we wanted to give everything to our children in abundance. So our children got everything at their hands. So not miss, I am now in my around 70. So my children are now of the age of 45 or 50s. So they got everything in abundance. Now what would they with their children? So they again give a lot of things to their children. And these days, the children are not used to know. They are not, means they don't hear no. Everything the child asks, the child gets. Mama, I want a ball pen. If I go with him as a grandmother, I will buy a 10 rupee pen. And the child will select a 80 rupees pen. That is very last week, my personal experience. And then I won't buy it, then he would be very sad and all that. He will not talk to me. So I will give him, in the end, I give up and give him that pen. So that means satiation. They know various ways of emotional blackmail and satiating their needs. As young kids, these are simple things. But as they grow up in adolescence and youth, whatever is forbidden, in spite of providing everything to them, some things are forbidden to them. Even in these days also, some things are forbidden. And whatever is forbidden, we tell them that is not good, is evil, but evil is always attractive. That is the point we must understand, that evil and forbidden things are always attractive. Forbidden area, don't go, don't shoot, then definitely people will go there and shoot there. So in these kinds of relationships over the app, or intercultural or interfaith relationships, whatever is forbidden, find in these relationships. And that's without thinking, without thinking of their own upbringing, their background, people enter into these such relationships and other things also, not only relationships, having the excitement of girls, because the excitement of all other things parents have not given them. They wanted some more height, so they would go for that. So whatever is forbidden lures them. In all, the girls are asked to dress properly, then they would go and have scanty mini, not even mini skirts, even minier than those clothes they would wear. So whatever is forbidden attracts them. But what are the consequences of that? Then the bridge of communication is not there. What parents say is not acceptable to the children, because the communication gap has come right when they enter the adolescence. Up to the age of 10, it's okay. After that, the communication is not there. They are not able to listen. But then the parents and all of us, the teachers, have keep an eye on what kind of company they develop, what kind of friends they make. Even in the class, there are some wild fellows, even in primary school or even in secondary school. So we have to keep our children away from that. For that, parents have to be careful. Even if they don't spend quality time, They must be aware of what kind of friends their children are having and how do they spend their time. They may go to the playground and take videos of girls playing there. So what kind of activities they are doing, that is very important for the parents. And for that, we must understand that they must learn the sense of giving away, not having possessiveness on each and every object. All this violence, domestic violence or the violence in this case, has come out of the sense of possession. That person said that she was going away from me, so I did whatever I did. So the sense of possession is so powerful in the mind that we have to let go of things they don't know. The children have not experienced the joy of letting things go, giving away, doing good things to others. They don't know. If we teach them those things and they understand the importance of these, then to certain extent they will rise from the animal level to human level, and from human level they can rise to the superhuman or divine level. But that, even if that is not possible, what is humanity? They don't understand the content of humanity also, and they don't respect the other person's dignity. So many young girls also may be doing this, and so many young boys also will be may be doing are doing this, that they don't respect the other person. And they, when they don't respect the other person, they don't maintain the dignity of the other person. Our tradition says that they belong to the asura sampat, asuri sampat, because it is said that they hate the God in themselves and the God in others. So Bhagavad Gita says, Mamatma paradeheshu pradvishanto abhyasuyakaha. They are people of demonish nature. And unless they are made aware that all these patterns of behavior make them demonic, then there is some ray of hope for them to turn their back to these certain things. Because, like the Asuri Sampat explained, described in Bhagavad Gita, Kamopabhoga Parama, Etavaditi Nishchitaha, they know only this and nothing else. Kamopabhoga Parama. In our tradition, Kama is not completely denied. Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, Dharma viruddho kamosmi. The kama, the satisfaction of desires and even carnal desires, following the rules of dharma, my presence is in them. So what are those rules? Which rules they have to follow when they follow their senses? That has to be taught to them. For that, a lot of efforts are to be taken by the parents, by the schools, and the counselors. I may say that what the children should watch over the social media, control has to be with the parents. And then again, the apps, etc., we should raise a public opinion that the dating apps, etc., should have counseling also compulsory. The person with whom you are dating, whether you are compatible to each other, whether you are serious about this relationship, and whether you can means जो commitment है आप निभा पाओगे कि नहीं, that kind of counseling also has to be added to these, because we cannot go back and completely ban those apps. They will surface with some other name in some other form, but we should raise a public opinion to make compulsory the means counseling along with these dating apps. Otherwise, all these things may happen again and again. People will be duped with money, and in this case, she was duped of her life only. So we have to have the public opinion regarding the use of certain these things. Unless we raise a public opinion, we are just discussing it amongst ourselves who have understood the importance of all those things. So you cannot convert those who are already converted. if you want to convert other people, then we have to raise our voice and we have to bring a public platform for this, so that with the pressure of the public opinion, certain measures will be taken by the authorities in controlling these things. That is what practically I feel, that they must read Gita and understand what is the demonic nature, what is the good nature, how it is to love God, and how God, we have to see God in everything also, not in everybody, but in God, so that we respect the dignity of the other person and accept the freedom of the other person. So that way we have to work through some groups like your group. We have to work and try to retain the glory of our culture, our heritage in this country. This is what I wanted to say.
Yes, yes. So thank you very much, madam. If sir, if you would like to add something or you would like to raise something, Siddharth, you are welcome to.
Now, what I feel is, now let us pass on to the other audience
Ji.
to see if they want to say something or
Yeah.
they want to question something.
Yeah.
And then we may. That is what I feel.
Take it. Yeah, we will
not a
take it
time.
further.
I will just quickly add one thing that I forgot to mention previously. So even as a society, which also plays a very important role, like for example, if we have to give an example of this particular case where her friends basically forgot to keep in touch with her. You know, if they would have been in touch with her, if they would have constantly follow up in terms of how she's doing and everything, certainly this situation could have been avoided. So there has to be more awareness. The society in general has to be more vigilant. If you know someone is struggling, going through some difficult situation in their relationship, you should obviously reach out to them. You should provide them some support, psychological support, professional support, and you should raise someone who has the authority to resolve this particular issue. So even in your day-to-day life, you could come across a situation where some of your friend or someone who's going through a bit of difficult patch in life. So you should constantly call them, motivate them, encourage them to speak out. Obviously, in this particular case, no one reached out to her. Otherwise, she would have spoken out, and clearly it could have been avoided. So, yep, that's pretty much what I wanted to basically add.
Yeah, yeah.
Situation and other things. There you really need some sort of mental support. You need your own circle, maybe if not your own parents and family, at least some developed relationship with sort of friend circle, sort of inner circle, which can really give you mental support in such situations. So that is one of the ways which I can suggest. And otherwise, as she rightly did, it is the support of the law. If there is no other thing, you have to go to the police, you have to explain the situation and get out of it. That's what we feel. And really very horrible, very horrible.
Madam?
No, it is very unfortunate that she made that person, because after her divorce, the girls are in a very fragile mindset and they have very low esteem about themselves. That I am not accepted by husband and his family. So there is something lacking in me. They like that, they think. And when parents also add to that humiliation, then it's very difficult. And it was a very wise decision of her to go and study yoga, learn yoga. That is the point. The most fascinating point of this all her story is that she learned yoga, which may have given her strength, and some friends also from the college, and something worth living in her life in those difficult days. So we have to find purpose for our life, even in such dire situations. And I would suggest all girls that they should have a purpose of their life other than husband and their children, family, the set circle, as Amruta Pritam said, that you have to have a fourth room, चौथा कमरा होना चाहिए. तो हॉल है मतलब
काम नहीं कर रही थी.
से मिलते हैं, एक किचन है और एक बेडरूम है. ये तीनों जो आप छोड़िए, सिवाय एक चौथा कमरा हर लड़की को होना चाहिए, which will give some purpose to her living. That is what I feel from her example.
Is there anybody who would like to ask anything or share or talk? Umesh Sangaji, can you please mute yourself? Yeah, anybody who would like to ask anything? I can't see, so either you raise hands or you can just wave like this. Sid, you have anything to talk or ask, madam or sir?
What can I say? I'm also very traumatized, like you guys are, after listening to Sonalji's story. But as she rightly mentioned, you know, her biggest support was her sister who reached out to her. So, you know, family is big support. I only wish that if Sonalji would have learned martial arts as well, she could have obviously defended herself back then. But it's good to know that, you know, she practiced yoga, and it's actually yoga which pulled her out of this particular situation. So there's obviously a lesson to be learned from this particular story. Yoga not only just gives you that balance, but it also, you know, gives you a lot of comfort and the strength which is required, you know, to survive in this particular situation. So yeah, I would like to wish Sonalji all the very best for the future, and may Lord Shiva give us strength.
Sir, I want to know, let's say madam has actually pointed out quite to some extent the sense gratification. Where can it lead? The youth today, you know, they are into food, such kind of food which, you know, just now madam gave example that one fruit was cut into pieces and given to everybody. But today, the sense gratification when it comes to food, when it comes to eating, drinking, and sex and things like that, it is going out of proportion, and it is becoming ugly and horrible. Sir, you show something, you show some path, what to do, what we as yoga teachers can do to our society, to our neighborhood, to our friends and relatives and those whom we know. What should we do?
So some other positive engagement is the only thing. As Namjoshi madam said, if you tell people not to have sense gratification, not to have, say, spicy food and this and that, they will precisely do that. That is what happens generally when you ask certain things, when you forbid certain things, people are even more attracted. So the positive way of it is to show that there is more joy elsewhere than sense gratification. There is much more joy in meditation, in if not that high values of meditation or other things, as I told you, some creativity, some art, some games, some sports, channelization of energy can lessen the sense gratification. You know, if the energies are channelized in some other way, through arts, through science, through other means, to some other objects, then the sense gratification will decrease. And pratyahara really in yoga, it really is teaching you this, that at least don't jump to the sense gratification as soon as it comes to your mind. First try to slow down. You know, if I feel like say going to the movie, uh, can I postpone it I you can't say don't never go to the movie, you can't say like that, or
Yeah.
never go to this never, that they will not listen.
Ah.
But at least if you say that postpone it, slow down it, slow down, slowing down your senses going towards the objects is one of the sadhana which has been told. Shaknoti haivaya sodhum prak sharira vimokshanat kama krodhodbhavam vegam sayukta sasukhi naraha. So the vega, the speed which is created by kama and krodha or the emotion, the first step is to decrease the speed of emotion. If we decrease, if we are able to manage it, maybe we are able to prevent it. Because to say at once to go to pratyahara and other things or enjoy the meditation instead of sense gratification is rather too much of a thing to speak about. But at least to teach them that at least slow down your responses to the things, to the senses, and try to enjoy something which is not sense gratification, and then slowly learn that there is much more joy in the other things than the senses. Once they taste that joy, the sense gratification will stop, you know. And that could be creativity, that could be arts, that could be many other things, channel, even games, sports, and other things. So that is the thing. And one more thing which I wanted to suggest is that can we, this is open thought, can we think of such counseling centers for the people? Now the lady, for instance, who talked, Sonal, others.
Sonal.
So when such people are in difficulty, can we think of such centers where they can have counseling established by the government? I don't know how to really, that they reach out to the people in difficulties and in traumas, advise them and other things. So some sort of counseling centers which can be managed by institutions, maybe like yoga institutions everywhere in the country, and a special cell for such type of people who are in great difficulty, who have nowhere to go, who don't have family support, who have nothing. So can we really think of such counseling centers, or whatever name you would like to give to it, support centers if you want to give that name?
Actually,
So,
yeah, we read somebody texting. Okay, Sonal is saying thank you for hearing me out. Vanita Gori is saying yes, counseling center is a very good idea. So yes, thank you very much, sir, for bringing out this kind of need. Now we do not know where to go and what to do. Okay, Akshay has raised hands.
So namaste everybody.
Yeah, namaste Akshay.
I have a question to ask since you're all elder to me, and I have been raised as I'm a very curious kid, so I've been wanting to know everything of whatever is happening outside. Is in relative with the generation shift, the previous generation, there is less number of activities, things happening in the surrounding. But right now in my generation, there is a lot of things happening in
Yes.
But we are definitely limited to our screens, unfortunately. But what I'm trying to say is that being a curious person, a baby is the curious the most, and the curiosity is fading away in time. So since this curiosity is there in a kid, like how can we, like, as in rather than living an experience, suppose say like I was curious about smoking a cigarette, unless I smoke it, I realize it, this is not good for me. Just by my parents saying this, it is not good, or just by seeing, oh, this is very healthy, how will be this curiosity of a kid who wants to smoke a cigarette can be approached as a parent? Or how can these things could, like, how could it be? I guess the question is out there.
Yes. It's a very, very, very intelligent and burning question, burning like a cigarette. It's
May I say
something.
something?
Yes,
May I
ma'am.
say something?
Yes, madam. Yes, please.
The parents should understand the curiosity. I know such parents who tell their children that though means they won't allow their child to smoke the cigarette immediately, but they will say that this is not meant for your age. You can do it, you can test it, experiment it after a certain age. And you must know whatever repercussions are there. And you have to earn it. Means, I will not give you a ready cigarette. You will have to work for it, make some money, and then you can buy it. Your drink, you can taste it, because nowadays social drinking is quite common, though we find it very disturbing. But even parents also, when they go out in the hotels, then they have drink. In families like our families also, I see that happening. And the children says, let me have a test. Then they shouldn't encourage that. I have seen some parents like this also. See how वो कितना हीरो है, देखो हमारा उसको एक सिप देते हैं. Then the parents should know where to stop. And then the curiosity is there, then they will have to tell that child that what is this, what it can bring you. What Akshay said about sexuality also, the kids are very curious right from the age of 6. You won't believe, I myself have heard 6th standard boys speaking about the white juice, they call it white juice, that comes out from their pelvis. So this has led now to these things. Then the parents have to scientifically explain it, and what are the dangers of doing things when you have not reached the proper age. That parents have a great job for the children of this generation. They are not teenagers. All of them are screenagers. I always say they are screenagers. They are not teenagers. So the responsibility of parents is really great, and some counseling in schools and in what grandparents say for them, it is very old, very old. Hmm. You were born even when India was not independent, they would say like that. So it is very old, but parents are not that old for them. So the responsibility of how do they fulfill their curiosity. And as they are screenagers, Akshay, I may dare to say that you have lost, your generation and even the younger generation has lost the capacity to enjoy nice and creative things. When my grandson went for a school picnic, they were taken to a field and they had to dig some soil and put some plants. And after he came back with 2 plants that he had planted, 2 saplings small. And when I asked, how was your picnic? Then he said, very boring. There were no games, nothing. हमने बहुत खाना खाया और पेड़ लगाए. That's all. The trip was boring. He didn't enjoy the creativity or being with nature, in spite of we trying very hard to tell those things, parents, and grandparents. Still, he had lost the capacity. So there may be many children like this, no? So what to do with them is a great question again.
Okay, so thank you very much, Akshay and sir and madam. Now, is there anybody else who has anything to say? So may I take this opportunity now to announce a few things from Nadalaya Yoga. One thing is that we have created a community, Nadalaya Yoga community, because there were too many, what do you call them, WhatsApp groups where I had to send messages, then put it on Instagram, then put it on Telegram, then send some emails, then one information would reach some people. Now, luckily, WhatsApp has come up with this, this thing. So may I request Akshay to please share the link of the Instagram community. And I know most of the people over I see here are already a part of that community, but those who have not joined the community as yet, here I see the Akshay has already put it in the chat. So may I request all of you to please just click that and you will be a part of that community. It is a WhatsApp big group, not a small group of 250 people. It's a big group where nobody else can see you and nobody else can know who is a part of that group. And it's an announcement group. So you cannot write, you cannot send message, but you will be receiving messages. So my humble request to one and all to please, is it clickable, Akshay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So you can please join that. Now, this was one thing. Then the next thing is we at Nadalaya Yoga, we are coming up with a Yoga Sutra study course. Now, today, because we have our respected teachers also sitting in front of us right here. So this is online Patanjali Yoga Darshana intensive course by myself, Rajani Pradhan. It's a course designed to explore and dive deep into the study of Patanjali Yoga Sutras. It will include the chanting of Yoga Sutras. It will happen in 4 levels, 1, 2, 3, 4. So in the beginning will be introduction to Indian knowledge tradition, then what is yoga, and introduction to Shad Darshanas, Astika Nastika Darshanas, and then study of selected sutras in the beginning, in the first level. Then slowly by and by, we will go to 2nd, 3rd, and 4th level. By the time we complete 4th level, we will be done with all the Yoga Sutras and intensive study of all of them. Once you become a part of the community, I will be posting information on that as in maybe by today evening or tomorrow morning, I will put all the relevant information on that group. Now, another thing I wanted to say was that we've been conducting this kind of programs, and I promise you that it costs to have this kind of program, and the expenditure begins almost 20 days before the event even begins. So though we do not have any fee or charge to attend this course, but we would like to show you a QR code, and if somebody is interested, can make contribution by using this QR code. And once you are a part of community, maybe I do not know how it functions. I do not know much right now, but looks like you can send a message to us. And in case if you're not able to reach us via the community or something like that, then Nadalaya Yoga, Nadalaya, Yoga, Yoga, Nadalaya Yoga @gmail.com. if Akshay can type that on the chat, so you can write to us on email and reach out to us to contribute if you wish to do so. So with this, I thank each and everybody to be a part of this program. I wish to thank Sir Guruji, Dr. Shreeram Agashe sir, Madam Dr. Lalita Namjoshi Madam, Shri Siddharth Rao, and Akshay for taking care. Akshay takes care of such things right from 25 days minus the event time, because he has to prepare for the entire event. So he starts his work like that. So I thank Akshay very much, one and all who have been a part of this program. I thank you all for taking out time and being a part of this program. And I also want to thank Dr. Praveena Shetty again, because this program is her brainchild. It was her idea. It is her Manasaputra. So I thank her also. So thank you very much. Sir, may I ask you to say a few words about the course that...
Actually, I want to congratulate you for starting this wonderful program and having a course on Patanjali Yoga Sutra. As you know very well, it's a topic of my heart. And if somebody is starting a course on Yoga Sutras, it's a wonderful thing. It is also one of the solutions to the problem which we have discussed today. So
Yes.
I wish you all success in this program, and I am definitely I feel that many people will be interested in this. I really invite people to join this program, and really my heartfelt congratulations and everything for you for this particular program.
Thank you,
Wonderful,
sir.
great.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir.
Agashe sir, namaskar. Menon bolta hai.
Yes.
Namaskar, namaskar.
Yeah,
Namaskar.
Pradhan madam, all the best. Very good event you have organized.
Yes, sir.
As sir has told, I am a student of the sir. Okay. Upanishads.
Yes, sir.
One very wonderful event, and pertaining to the topic also, recent topic.
Yeah.
Sir has said yogic counseling centers should be started.
Yes.
Yoga centers, instead of taking yoga, yogic counseling centers should be started. So that methodology of yoga counseling, which are mostly on the psychosomatic problems which are faced by the patients. So counseling is the best method, and that's what is my. I am also from Asst.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. May I request Madam Dr. Namjoshi Madam to please say a few words.
I am very happy that you have started such a course because Patanjali Yoga Sutras are studied by almost all yoga students. But the most striking feature of your program is that you are teaching the chanting of the sutras also. That is very important, because what happens, I used to always tell the students that these are not shlokas, these are sutras. And what is the difference between a sutra and shlok also sometimes the students don't know. So Patanjali, this is a shlok from Patanjali Yoga Sutra, they would say. But once they start chanting those sutras, and you will dive deep in the meanings also. So it is a very, very unique type of activity that you have taken up. So I wish all the best, and I will tell whosoever is interested in studying Yoga Sutras to join your course. All the best.
Thank you very much, Madam, and thank you very much, sir. And thank you very much, each and every one of you. So with this, do I have your permission to conclude this session, sir, Madam? Can we continue?
Yes.
How many days will be there, Madam?
Yes, we will discuss all that. You just join that group, and everything will be discussed over here, over there.
Okay.
So thank you very much, and namaste, namaste, namaste. We will conclude with Omkar 3 times, and Shanti 3 times. Please sit comfortably. Inhale. 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 Inhale for Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gently open your eyes. Thank you and namaste.
Thank you.